Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ryan Seacrest.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for including me, Bonnie. I'm going to speak about Bonnie Hammer for a moment. Though Bonnie and I have been working together closely since she took over E! Entertainment a couple of years ago, it's not the first time that our professional paths have crossed. We actually met back about 15 years ago when I was the same height, but my hair was a different color. She hired me to host The New Edge, a tech TV show that was on the Sci-Fi Channel. And even back then, you could tell that Bonnie had something very, very special, besides the gift for spotting young talent. She was and is incredibly smart, but always willing and eager to listen to everybody's point of view. Bonnie saw to it that everybody around her had a voice, and everybody who was invested could voice their opinions and be a part of everything that she was doing. Her mission to create the best possible television she could, and that's what she has been doing for so many years. And if you're familiar with her work at all, you realize that that has never, ever changed with Bonnie. The New York Times dubbed Bonnie Queen of Cable, in part because she oversees a portfolio that accounts for just about half of NBCUniversal's operating cash flow, which translates to billions of dollars, I think, Steve. But it's also because she's cornered the market in a way, in a very special way. As chairman of the Cable Entertainment Group, Bonnie oversees a collection of various networks, not to mention a couple of studios that are among the best in the business, reaching people ages 2 to 54. Law and Order creator and producer Dick Wolf said this about Bonnie: she is one hell of a businesswoman. She's the only woman I know that actually has a WWE championship belt. And according to Chairman Vince McMahon, she has totally earned it. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the woman I speak of, my dear friend, Bonnie Hammer, and congratulations on this well-deserved Matrix Award, Ms. Hammer. And not a bad body either, huh?
Now that's a compliment. Bling in here? It's a little too big for a bling box, but I'll take it. Anyway, Ryan, thanks so much for those great words. It's really fun to be working with you again. Ryan was a brilliant and adorable, and I might add, charming young pup who was doing radio in San Francisco when we cast him in an innovative show that merged online and on air well before its time. Even then, Ryan was ahead of the competition. Today, he's one of the most sought-after guys in the business. The fact that he found time to be here today also demonstrates why he's still one of the nicest as well. So, thank you. And Joan, if the Matrix are intended to highlight trailblazing women in communications, I would argue that there are very few deserving as you to stand up on the stage today. You have consistently broken new ground, and you've never stopped challenging convention or pushing boundaries. But more important, you've always made us laugh, always. And though I don't want to rush things, I do want to wish you a happy early birthday. I understand you're going to be 39 again? Yeah? Oh, okay. And a heartfelt thanks to New York Women in Communications for including me with so many accomplished women. I'm so proud to be part of that legacy. And of course, a shout out to my colleagues at NBCUniversal over there who are here to show their support, especially my immediate team, without whom I would never be here, and to Steve Burke, who makes sure that the executive suite is not only a civilized and fun place to be, but well populated with women. So we thank you for that. Now, looking across this dais, I realized that my staff was not kidding when they said that I would be the oldest among us today. Usually, that's not something I care to admit or pay much attention to. except for the fact that in preparing today's remarks, I took a long look back at my career and engaged in a bit of self-reflection, though believe me, I don't nearly have enough mirrors to reflect on almost 40 years. However, I do have the benefit of a particular gal pal who is also of a certain age and who also attained a certain amount of success in this business. In fact, she's a previous Matrix honoree herself and is sitting here somewhere in the audience today. As we were talking over drinks during a recent girls' night out, we realized we both reached a similar point in our careers, which we described in very, very similar ways. We talked about achieving an internal calm. Not that there's a lack of drive or passion, to the contrary. We're both more motivated than ever to succeed, to achieve. But the drive comes from a very different place. It feels more focused, more unafraid, and interestingly, agenda-free. In a weird sense, we both were reminded that this is how we felt in the very beginning when we first started our careers, when we experienced the excitement and the undiluted passion of being in the business. From the thrill that comes from working with talented and creative people, and the desire to be part of something that is simply bigger than ourselves. It seemed so simple back then, so joyful, and actually so pure. It was surprising that neither of us had shared that feeling with anyone till then. But then I realized the fact that we never spoke of it was exactly the point. It's a subtle and a quiet thing, and a dramatic change from all the noise that preceded it. After the early years, the joy is too often drowned out by a lot of clamor. Agendas creep in, yours and others, as you navigate the corporate landscape. Stakes get higher as you get more responsibility. Competition seems to come from everywhere. Self-doubt gets compounded by a fear of failure as you take ever-increasing risks, all heightened by the universal pressures of family and finance. You either endure the pressures of a steep climb or you get left behind. That becomes the new normal. And in my experience, it lasted for years. But then, if you're lucky, really, really lucky, something else actually happens. To describe it, I'm actually going to use a football analogy. Since my husband played football in college with all the broken down joints to prove it, and my son's a diehard Jets fan, I've got a multi-generational perspective on a subject obsessively discussed in my home. So, I've heard that when quarterbacks are in the prime of their careers and they talk about why they become better as they get older, they say it's because the speed of play seems to slow down in their mind's eye, and they're able to focus only on what's important, knowing when to change a play and knowing who should get the ball. They also develop an intuitive sense of when a big defensive lineman is about to flatten them. More impressively, they're able to do it quickly and decisively. I'm told that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, two of the oldest quarterbacks still playing, that's if you can call 38 old, know how to get rid of the ball a half second faster than their peers. That's why there may be players on the field who are faster and stronger and clearly younger. Sometimes the more experienced guys have a little extra something that can make the difference. I know I will never be able to throw a perfect spiral, nor thankfully will I ever be called on to do so. But I can relate to the idea that over time, you develop an intuitive big picture sense of what's happening on the field. You know what play to call, you know when to keep running, and you know when to get rid of that ball before you get sacked. It's all about tuning out the noise, tuning out all that stuff that simply doesn't move the game forward. The doubt, the personal agendas, the often deafening fear of judgment, and the need to please, so that you can ultimately get to the place of quiet, of calm. And when you focus on what really, really matters. And ironically, I found that once you're able to do that, something else resurfaces. The enthusiasm, the passion, the excitement for the business, and the pure, untarnished joy you felt as a rookie, right where you started. I know that T.S. Eliot did not have quarterbacks, or for that matter, TV executives in mind when he wrote the following lines, but they do capture a point perfectly. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive right where we started and know the place for the very first time. Now, for someone who's been on that playing field as long as I have, it's great to feel like a rookie again. I wish the same for all of you. Thank you.